before we rock on. Okay, thank you, stick figure. Love you. Okie dokie. Let's fix this hairdo here. Hang tight. Yeah, whatever. I'm on Facebook. Let me figure out what we're doing right here. Is that easy? No, it's not easier. Okay, hang tight just a sec. I'm gonna be mindful of the time, but it's 11 o'clock right now. Welcome to our day 2 of our 5-day self-care mastery challenge. It's me, Shauna Bryant. How's it going? Oops, I didn't click live. Hang tight. So we're doing them simultaneously, Facebook and Instagram, so just bear with me. Hello, it's Shauna, Shauna Bryant, your host of the Self-Care Mastery Challenge. Today is day 2. This is really my favorite missing key. I've been teaching this one for about a year-ish, and it's absolutely my most favorite thing to talk about with regards to self-care. Let me just make sure I'm recording. Yes, but I didn't record this. Hang tight just a second. Sorry, I just want to record it. There we go. Okay, so we're on. I'm recording. Welcome. So again, my name is Shauna Bryant. I'm the host of your 5-day self-care mastery challenge. Today is day 2. It's Tuesday, February 11th. If you're coming in live right now, let me know where you're coming from. Just say hey. Let me know you can hear me. And we'll get started in just a second. Also, if you cannot watch the whole live today, no worries at all. We're going to be posting it on our Teachable, where your guys' members platform is for everyone who's participating in the challenge. It'll be uploaded there, and then we'll also send a link to your inboxes within probably like an hour once we're done. It takes a while for it to upload. Ask your questions. So today is one of my most favorite, most simplest things related to self-care that I've learned over these years. And self-care doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be high maintenance. It doesn't need to be fussy. And with today's missing key that we're going to share with you, it really shows you how to dive down and really get to the nitty-gritty of what you're needing and really chunk it down. So we're just going to go in. If you want to hop in and say where you're from, what's happening, it's me, Shauna. Also, everything that we're doing right now, basically, I originated it. I'm getting all of this content from your Teachable platform, so innerworkingsmovement.com. This is day number 2. It's just basically like your day's assignment, and then we're going really diving deep into the topic of self-care. And then this is number 2 of the missing key, and it's called your one small thing. So I wanted to share a story that I didn't share yesterday because my brain, I had too much coffee, which I'm about to drink more. But yesterday's accountability aspect, we were talking about deep connections. If you're not feeling connected to yourself, hang tight just a second, because this will start to make a lot of noise. So with respect to self-care connection, deeply connecting to yourself or others around you. So my story about connection was this whole accountability thing. So when you have people that can hold you accountable, like communities, like memberships, like, you know, Mommy and Me, exercise clubs, anything like that, drama clubs, whatever floats your boat, right? But just get in the idea of people holding you accountable, right? Could be anything from meetings. It could be a monthly workshop. It could be a weekly meeting where you get together and talk about business or life or whatever. So you get the gist, right? So it's anything that is holding you accountable. well, I'll tell you my story about Headspace a little bit later, but with respect to Headspace, my meditation app that I've been doing for about, I think, 3 or 4 years now, I decided after this just recently, because it was my turn to renew my subscription to the membership. And I was like, I think I've kind of outgrown this. Like, I'm really into chakra cleansing and I'm into all this like weird woo-woo stuff. I think Headspace, I've just kind of graduated from it, right? Okay. So if you've never been on Headspace before, it's the one thing that I started way a long time ago. I wanted to set my goal of meditating, learning how to meditate. And if you don't know anything, if you haven't met me before or heard my story, I come from a long line of neurotics. It's like neurotic, kind of like super high energy, can't sit still. My mom's 71. She literally cannot sit still. And that's just our energy. It's like chilling out is not a thing until I was like, I have to do something different. I don't want to be pacing back and forth. I don't want my mind to just be racing and worry, you know, like just constantly busying myself. So after my husband got into his big car accident, I think it was 4 years ago, I was like, I'm going to learn how to meditate so I can chill, really just become grounded with my 3 children, and just be in a better place, right? Be able to be present. So I went to this Buddhist retreat. It was in New Mexico, signed up for this thing, went and sat with monks and tried to meditate for like the whole day. Okay, that was a total shiz show. So I got home and I'm like, no, seriously, how can I make this work? Because I defined meditation as I have to be with a monk. I have to sit still on this meditation pillow. I have to, unless I'm doing it their way, it's not called meditation, right? So I had already set that limitation that that's what it needed to be. But when I got home, I was like, dang, I can't do that. Like my kids are babies, like there's no way. So I redefined it. And made it work for me. So I took this step and I said, I'm going to learn how to meditate. I'm going to commit to myself for meditating for 1 minute a day. That was my simple thing. And you'll understand why I'm telling the story in just a second. But that was my one single thing that I wanted to do to learn how to ground myself, right? So this was, I think, about 3 years ago when I hooked up with Headspace. Why I'm telling you this story, it'll all relate. But with respect to the Headspace, so going back to the accountability, I have the app, and you can use any app if you want to learn to meditate. I'll talk to you about that if you have questions in there. So the accountability piece, so I have this Headspace app, right? And I was like, I'm just doing 1 minute a day. I screwed up, I failed, I missed weeks, I just, trial and error kind of stuff. But having the accountability for the app, I was like, I have to get my minute in, right? It's because it would remind you, oh, you've gone 2 days straight. Oh, you've gone 15 days straight. Oh my gosh, you've gone 100 days straight, right? So, you mess up and you come and go and do all this stuff. But I committed to that 1 minute, and that was my goal to learn how to meditate, because I'd never sat still before with the monks. And why I was able to, and why I think this is relevant for you guys, is when you want to start something. So say you want to learn how to run a marathon. My girlfriend's running a half marathon soon. If you want to learn how to play basketball, if you want to learn how to be like, I don't know, a superstar in something, I have no idea what it is. If you want to like dance or learn swing dancing or, be a great drawer or something like that, you literally can have the ability to chunk it down to make it so simple. So a couple of calls ago for one of my memberships, she's like, I didn't know that you can meditate for one minute. Like, so our definition is like this big thing. So when I went to that Buddhist meditation, I was like, shit, I can't meditate because I don't have the pillow. I don't have all the crystals. I don't have the gong, and I don't have all this stuff. Like, how am I going to learn how to meditate, right? So after I kind of went in that funk, was like, I can't do this. It's just too hard. I literally chunked it down to make it the most simplest thing ever. So when we talk about accountability, going back to accountability from yesterday's call, my membership on my phone for Headspace app, I think it was $60 or $80 a year. I was like, I think I've outgrown this Headspace app. It's very simplified. It's Andy talking. If you've gone on Headspace, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I'm kind of getting sick of his voice. Like, I want to do chakra cleansing and all these weird things. I canceled the membership. This is no joke. So I canceled the membership in January. And guess what happened? I stopped meditating. Isn't this the strangest thing you've ever heard? So I was saying, I mean, I did other meditations and that kind of thing, but my daily consistent goal of meditating, I just stopped doing it because I did not have, I can't grab my phone, but I did not have the accountability on my app to remind me, Shauna, meditate. And I've been doing this now for 3 or 4 years. I've evolved as a human being. I just went to one on Sunday night, a full moon heated meditation. It was like 70 minutes or something. Amazing. But that step, we're having lots of new people come in. So just say where you're from and say, hey guys, I'm telling a funny story about Headspace. That one simple step to learn how to meditate 1 minute a day, that completely revolutionized my whole entire life. It was like redefining everything. Aries, can you go, please? Please go. If you're wondering why I'm holding this, it's because it touches my scarf and makes all kinds of racket. So in any case, redefine what self-care looks like for you, right? So it doesn't have to be these long drawn out day spas and week-long vacations and, you know, a nanny 24/7. No. Seriously, this dog, I told my husband to bring him. No, please go. All of these big, heavy things that maybe we want to learn how to do. If you want to go learn how to do the marathon, right? It starts with one step or one walk around the block or one accountability partner who's going to do it with you or literally one foot in front of the other. And I share that with you because speaking of, if you want to learn something to do, don't have it be this big, long, drawn out, really expensive, really, heavy, expensive thing. It can seriously be one book. One page in a book if you want to read, or if you want to start journaling, or if you want to start dancing. It's literally one step or one foot in front of the other. And I share that story with you about the Headspace because look at my accountability, just speaking from yesterday's call about connection, was I didn't have it. I'm in my routine of meditating, but because that reminder wasn't there on my phone, it was like out of sight, out of mind. And then I'd skip a few days and I'm like, why am I so rushed in the morning? Why am I so grumpy lately? That was in January. And I had to remind myself and put a reminder in my phone to meditate. And I've been doing this for so long, guys, 3 or 4 years, legit meditating every day for 3 or 4 years. And I tell you that because, isn't it funny, the accountability piece? Like if you wanted to run a marathon, you get a partner or go walk up the hill, right? Or it's not going to start, you're not going to go run 19 miles or 18 miles or whatever please go. Whatever the miles, I don't know how many miles you run in a marathon. I should ask Melanie, but she started, so her thing was she just started running on the treadmill, right? 1 mile on the treadmill, started building it up, 2, 3 miles, 4 miles. She started running in her neighborhood she just did this, I think it was yesterday, ran from her town in Novato, which is near San Francisco, all the way to the other side of town and back. That was like 10 plus miles. So she's gearing up, but it started with one step, one loop around the block, one, and this could be for anything. So when we're talking about self-care and your one small thing, what is it? What's your one small thing that you can choose to do, that you're redefining it, that you're making it work for you, that you're, if it could be like, if you want to learn, again, marathon, meditating, painting, if you want to learn how to journal, if you learning how, you just start, right? If you want to paint or be a yoga instructor, like we talked about yesterday. There's so many different levels of things. And this is why it's so important for you to determine your one small thing. Not my one small thing, not Melanie's half marathon. That doesn't even sound fun to me at all. But your one small thing that will get you kind of back reconnected with yourself, okay? So if you want to start like reading constantly or consistently rather, open a book and choose one page, right? And it's just those little, and I hate to call them tiny wins or small wins, but they're baby steps, you know, that's essentially what they are, because if you do it consistently, okay, 1 minute, a 5-minute walk around the block, or journaling for 5 minutes, like getting down one page, or trying improv, or you know what I mean? Like, are you kind of understanding what I'm saying? Hi, Janelle. Do you kind of get the gist of it? So when we are talking just in general of self-care, we're feeling kind of depleted, a little overwhelmed, maybe disconnected, like what we talked about yesterday, with ourselves and our families and our friends and stuff in community. So what is the one thing that we can do for us personally? What can you do personally for yourself to fill that cup? But it doesn't have to be these big, expensive, again, these big, big gigantic goals, which I want you to dream gigantic. You know, I have huge goals financially, with houses all over the world. There's a lot of stuff that I have. However, that is not going to happen overnight. It's just about little tiny action steps that you do every single day, mostly, right? We're not 100%, you know, perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm kind of a mess sometimes, but every day just have that awareness, like, okay, I'm going to write that, if you want to write a book, I'm going to write 1 page down, or I'm going to do 100 words. You know, do you see what I'm saying? So chunk it down, chunk what you want to do down, so it is not so difficult, and it's not so something that you're going to want to say, oh, F it, right? I'm going to flake on myself again. I'm going to really commit to this because it's so simple. And then when you start doing it over and over, again, my story of my headspace, I thought you'd kind of get a kick out of that one. You're not going with the monks, right? And that's fine to learn from them because they're amazing. They've been doing it for 30 and 40 years. But you're not just defining it that is meditation. That's meditation for them. But for me, a busy mom with 3 boys that are really wild and fun and chaotic, that won't work for me. That won't, in my house, that space won't work yet. Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not there to the meditation couch thingy or the chair thingy, and I don't have my altar. There's a lot of things I don't have, but I made it work for myself. I got the app. It was like $60 or $80 a year. And I learned to meditate, and I made that one tiny commitment. Do something. It could be a minute. It could be, you know, make it so doable that it's almost like easy, and you're like, hell yeah, I got this. And then you do 5 minutes. Then you do a run twice around the block, right? If you're wanting to do a marathon, or you know, write two pages for your book, or you know, do you get it? Like, it's just simplifying everything, redefining stuff that works for you. Don't follow people's, you know, you've probably seen that post before on social media. It was like, don't compare your first step to someone else's like completed triathlon. Like, you get it, right? So you do what works for you. And that's why it's so important to get connected with yourself. Figure out, like, man, I'm kind of grumpy lately. What's going on? And reconnect with your heart and your soul and see what is missing here, right? That's the important part. That's why we put the connection first and foremost, because if you're not connected here, you're not going to know what the heck you want to do, right? So if you want to read or dance, be a yoga instructor. I think I've told you guys, oh, maybe not this time around, but I've talked about my yoga instructor. She's 53 years old, and she just started teaching within this last like year or two. Like, imagine that, right? Like, you're 53 years old, you think you're too old or fat or ugly or whatever these things are that we say in our heads. And she's like, she went online. I thought this was the cutest story, and she was so good. excuse me, she went online to the yoga studio and she's like, I want to become a yoga instructor. And she signed up for this and now she's an instructor. Like, you know, you go through the course, you pay 8 weeks or I don't know, whatever it is. And now she's a 53-year-old yoga instructor and she's so good. She has like long gray hair and she has all these crystal jewelry things all over the place. And she's good, you know, but had she have left that ceiling, that limitation or placed that, you know, that block, oh, I can't do that. I'm too ugly and fat and cheesy and you know, not flexible and all of these things, she let that limitation go and she signed up for this yoga instructor training and she's really good. So the point of this assignment today for the missing key is your one small thing. I can't determine what your one small thing is for you. I can give you tons of ideas. I can, you know, talk till I'm blue in the face about getting creative. We talk about this a lot in my membership. Getting creative with ways to find time to do you, right? Because we cannot live our fully present, happy, joyful, amazing lives if we're just stuck in this rut or stuck in emergency mode 95% of the time. Or, you know, I called myself 7 years ago, or no, how many? 5 years ago when I had my third, I was in survival mode. I was barely breathing, you know, like waiting at the water in the pool, like, I can't get there, you know? So I get it. If you guys are experiencing any of that, the community has been there. A lot of us are here and we want to help you move through that with your self-care, because self-care is not selfish, right? It's not time consuming as we're showing you today. It can be 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But it's just about you creating this awareness of what you need, what your body needs, what your heart and your soul needs, and it's respecting that and listening. But don't overcomplicate things, right? Like self-care is fun. If you want to go run and play or jump in the pool when it's freezing ass cold outside, do it. You know, like this life is meant to be thrived and have fun and, you know, feel sexy and confident and have so much fun that our kids are like, Mom, come on now, you know? So here's your assignment for today. And then I want to talk about our winners from yesterday and then talk about our giveaway. So in the beginning, I listened to this, well, I'll wait. Okay, hold on a second. So your assignment of the day, if you're not signed up for the 5-day self-care mastery challenge, you still have time. It was started yesterday, but you just can watch, you can kind of binge watch the videos. And then each time you watch the video, you post your biggest takeaway for the day. And then you're entered into the daily giveaway. So I want you, basically this is it. What little action steps, what exercises, what is your thing that you can do today or tomorrow? Just what is your one thing that you want to do? So we've talked about meditation, marathons, what? Journaling, reading, dancing. What is your one thing that will kind of really just start giving you space and permission to just like feel good in your body, right? Give your body what it needs, give your heart what it needs in just a few minutes. So I would love for you to do it today because at most it's probably what, 1 o'clock there, 2 o'clock there if you're on the East Coast. It's 11:22 here. I've done my one small thing. I meditated for 20 minutes this morning and I did yoga, which I think I'm gonna jump in the pool today because it's like 60 degrees outside. It's freezing cold, it's not even heated. And then I'll jump in the spa with my kids. They think I'm nuts, so. But you get it. Do you understand the importance of this? Because self-care is, it can be simple, it can be fun, it can be literally doing nothing. If that's what you want your one small thing to be, doing flipping nothing and giving yourself permission to say F it and forget the house. Like my house is not really dirty right now. We have a fort built over there. You guys, I'm a mom of 3 boys. It's like constant. There's basketballs here all over the place. It's just, I don't think my life will be ever 100% squeaky clean. I'm okay with that though, like legit. So you get the assignment, right? So now how you can be entered in today's giveaway, today's day number 2, talk about your one small thing and then write it down for me. So whatever it is, if you want to reflect on the video and then just kind of think about what serves you, not, again, not what I'm saying, not what anybody says you should ever be doing. It's about what you need, and give yourself permission to do that. Write it down on a piece of paper, and then take a photo of it and tag me. It's if you're on Instagram, it's at Shauna Bryant. Hi Gina, and then if Facebook, it's at Rockin' Mom's Kitchen, and then use the hashtag 5 days of self-care. Okay, so I want to tell you who the winner was for yesterday's assignment. I have my little handy dandy dog bowl that we don't use, and it's Jan. Jan is so amazing. You can't see that. She posted about how she was doing her stuff, and it was the first one I saw, and I put everybody's names in a hat, and Jan is the winner. So Jan won our book, The Big Leap. This I've read several times. I highly recommend it. I'm a kind of a geek out reader though. I like to read. And I do it kind of in the evening, you know. If you guys wondering how I do stuff with 3 boys, I do a lot of stuff in the evening time and then before they wake up. That's just my tip. So Jan, congratulations. Love you. Thank you so much for doing the day 1's assignment. Now, this is my favorite thing on the planet. Since August, I've been listening to it pretty much every day, damn near every day. This is my band I've been listening to about 7 years, and it's Stick Figure. And they had a giveaway because he launched this, I think, in August. So they had a chance to win like lifetime front row tickets or something. So I bought 25 CDs, which I wasn't the winner, but that's okay. I see him anyway. I'm seeing him in August. We've met him and went backstage. It's great. But this is the most chillest, awesomest CD. I mean, honestly, I think it's #1 in the reggae charts. It's reggae. But it's different reggae. Just, I listen to it at night. There's one I do after my meditation and when I go to sleep sometimes. Number 15, Burn the Night, is the sexiest song ever. Oh God, and he's sexy anyway. But this is what you'll win for day number 2's Missing Key, One Small Thing. So again, this is super simple, guys. I know you're on social media all the dang time anyway. Let me just make sure I got to all of these comments. Social media, you're on social media anyway, so think about it. Listen to the video if you're watching the replay. Talk to me about your biggest takeaway from today's lesson. So simple. Your one small thing. If you've forgotten yourself, or if you're feeling disconnected or grumpy or whatever, choose your one small thing that you're going to focus on for 5 days. And then you can go beyond, you know, you can do your 1 minute of meditation if that's what you want, or your one page for your book, whatever it is, but your one small thing to make you feel good, not the kids, not your flippin' husband, but for you. What do you need to make yourself feel amazing? Do you need a flippin' nap, or I don't know, to call a girlfriend and you want to talk to people to deeply connect, or go to coffee, or you get the gist. Okay, so one small thing, biggest takeaway. To be entered to win my favorite, literally, if I could live off of this. My husband's like, Shauna, stop loving that guy. He's so jealous anyway, such a dork. So you're gonna write on a piece of paper what your biggest takeaway is for day number 2's Missing Key, your one small thing. You could write it down, like if you're choosing to have one small thing, or you can say, hey Shauna, my biggest takeaway was that I don't take any time for myself, so I would like to start. And then what is that one thing that you want to start with? That's as simple as it gets. Okay, so tag me at Rockin' Mom's Kitchen, you over on Facebook at It's Shauna Bryant, hashtag 5 days of self-care. Done. Greatest thing. This is like an hour and a half worth, I think. Oh my God, he's so sexy. So that is it. I hope that I helped you. I hope you got a little bit of, you know, good nuggets, or maybe even just one thing of the one small thing. If that helped, literally, if you do not take anything away from our 5 days together with this challenge, this is it, okay? The deeply connecting, the having fun, or all the stuff that's coming up later, this is the core, because it's about you giving yourself permission to sit and like reconnect here, right? Reconnect What do I need? And then once you're able to determine that, which can be tricky if it's been a long time since you did a heart connection with yourself. What was I just completely lost my fate. It could be tricky. Oh, and then chunk it down, right? So one small step, one book, one circle around the block, one dance step, one page in a journal. If you want to write a book, great. Start with 100 words or something, you know? So make the steps so flippin' easy that you do it every day. And then you'll mess up, you'll do great, you'll, you know, come and go and things will happen. You'll like, oh, my awareness around myself though is still here. So I'm not forgetting about myself. Even if I mess up, I'm gonna do it today or tomorrow. Hold on, I have comments in here, but I can hardly see it. Hold on one second. I'm going to try Headspace, been thinking a lot about needing to meditate. So yes, so if you have watched this, Janelle, go back to the story about Headspace because it's hysterical. And I started with a Buddhist thing for a whole weekend, would not recommend that. And then I did 1 minute a day, legit. And if you have Headspace, you can get some codes, you know, discount codes. I think it's $60 to $80 a year. It's not a big deal. It's just the accountability is the part that I like. And then I made it like 460 something days. And I messed up and I meditated, but it was more than 24 hours before. So then I started all over and I was like so upset. And so I let my membership lapse and I was like, oh, I don't need it. And then you know the whole story of that part. So I hope that you enjoyed. Get in on this CD, guys. This is my greatest day. I love it. Thank you for joining me. I'm exactly 30 minutes. I don't want to go any longer. So if you don't have any other questions, let me know if you guys need anything. Thank you, Janelle, for showing up. I don't see who else is on there. Gina, Lauren, who else? Kathy, Haley. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great day. If you're not signed up for the challenge, get up in there, 5 days of self-care. I think you can go to innerworkingsmovement.com to join if you haven't gone through the whole Teachable thing yet, but it's really fun. And we're gonna show you so many awesome tools. So you guys, at the end of this, you're gonna feel so much confident, so that you can start it. The first step is starting it, right? Like I can practice and I can read and I can do all this stuff in my mind, but it's the first thing to do is like starting it. Like you can't learn how to swim by reading tons of books. You got to get yourself in there and get in the water. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you've been neglecting yourself or you just have a lot of shiz going on, get in touch with yourself. Give yourself a break. We're going to dive real deep into this topic because it's important. Otherwise, we're going to be flipping burnt out and tired and grumpy and living crappy lives, and we don't want to do that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock, the whole rest of the week. And that's it. I did it. 33 minutes. Okay, have a good day. See y'all. Okay, let me see.